Okay, well, hi everybody, and welcome to the Adler Planetarium. My name's Stuart. I'm one of the organisers of Science Hack Day here today. Thank you very much for coming down. I'm really grateful you guys are here. We're going to have a really good 36 hours of building amazing stuff, I'm really sure. Um, 36-ish. So the building's going to be open overnight tonight. If you want to stay here, you're more than welcome to. But I just wanted to give a brief introduction to what we're going to be doing, why we're doing it here at the Adler, and kind of give some logistical information as well about what's going to happen here today. We think people are going to be trickling in throughout the day. You guys are about 40 people. We had about 137 registered, so we're hoping that people gradually accumulate throughout the day. So if you see somebody wandering around, not really sure what to do, grab them, tell them what you're up to, and get them involved in what you're doing. So just before we start, can I get a brief show of hands about who's ever been to a Science Hack Day before? Okay, that's everybody who works here. Great. Who's been to a Hack Day before? Okay, great. Who's sitting here thinking, what have I let myself in for? Well, I have no idea what I'm doing. Great, the majority of you, fantastic. No, that's great, that's fantastic. I really want you guys to have a really good first experience here. So the whole idea of the next few days is it's all about creativity. It's all about trying new things, expanding your horizons, really understanding how to apply new skills. We've got one very enthusiastic hacker here, ready to go. It's all about play as well, so don't worry about getting something completely done and finished. It's all about just exploring ideas and really having a good time. And finally, it's all about science as well. So the hacks that we're doing today are focused on either explaining part of science or using science in a very novel way. So to give you an idea of what people have done before and to get your creative juices flowing, this is one of my favorite hacks that came out of Science Hack Day. This is from San Francisco a couple of years ago. It looks terrifying. This is a hack called synesthesia, which some people developed to find a way to get people to experience senses in a different way. So what this mask does is it completely blinds the person who's wearing it. They can't see a thing. It's completely pitch black in there. But it then has a number of light sensors on the mask that measure light from different directions and translate that into pressure on the person's face. So they've got a number of speakers all over the mask. So as you pan around the room here, as you look towards things that are more bright, you feel pressure on your face from that side. And it's taking one sense, which is sight, and turning it into another, which is sensation and sound. And this was a really interesting, fun hack. You don't need to do something quite this involved. This was a really very involved hack. Some people do things online with web technology. Some people build some little robots. Some people hack on quadcopters, that kind of thing. But this is kind of the spirit of what we're doing here. It's not about producing a product for the marketplace. It's about producing something that makes people think a little bit more about science or sort of experience science differently themselves. And with that, I'm going to hand over to the other portion of the day, which is the Space Apps Challenge. So we're partnering this year with the Space Apps Challenge, the International Space Apps Challenge, which is going to be at 80 other venues around the world this weekend. And to tell you a little bit more about it, I'll hand you over to Nicole, who's the International Space Apps Challenge organizer for Chicago.
Hey. All right, so this is Chicago's first Space Apps Challenge. This event was created by NASA 3 years ago. And this year we are in 93 cities in 47 countries, plus the International Space Station. So, pretty exciting. For your social media interactions, if you could hashtag SpaceApps and Chicago, they are creating a social media dashboard. So they're going to pull the story from all the different events together. So we have 5 categories of our challenges. There's human spaceflight, technology in space, asteroids, Earthwatch, and robotics. And those are all, you can read all the challenges on the Space App site. And you also have the opportunity to work on a challenge that was created last year and build on that, or you can start your own new challenge. So if you're working on the Space Apps challenges, you have to create your own project pages. You can do this from the website, Space Apps Project, create a project. It's really important that you link to your code and identify an open source license. And you can create a video that gives a quick project overview. And if you're nominated for global judging, you need to have a video. But you should have a video either way because it's pretty fun. Okay. So we are going to be nominating 2 projects selected by judges to go on to global judging. And we'll all vote on a People's Choice Award and nominate that challenge for global judging. So 5 global winners will be selected next month by NASA, and 1 People's Choice Award will be selected by Twitter. And there's all kinds of cool prizes you can read about on the site for the global winners, but probably the coolest is they can go to a SpaceX Dragon launch at the Kennedy Space Center. So there are also some sponsored challenges that you can also read about on the Space App site. The Kennedy Space Center is sponsoring 3. Public Lab is sponsoring 1, and they've created a community and some resources for you online if you're working on any of these challenges. So you should check it out. It's all on the Chicago location page for Space Apps. And if you need a break at like 4:30 today and you want to talk to an astronaut, you can. There's a Google Hangouts at 4:30. All you have to do is add Space Apps video to your circle on Google+, and you can tweet questions to Space Apps, the Twitter feed, and just hashtag it #AskAstro. It's really hard to say. Okay, so that's all I have to say.
So, just to give you a rundown of what the couple of days are going to be like, we're going to leave this room in just a few minutes, and we're going to head through to the executive lobby, which is just next door to here. This is a part of the Adler that nobody gets to see. It actually used to be part of the old museum, but it's now kind of more of an office space for us here at the Adler. We'll hack through there until as late as you want to hack. The dinner will be at 7 p.m. in the canteen, so we have some food on for there. There'll be coffee throughout the day. We have a lot of coffee, and intelligentsia coffee at that. It's pretty tasty. That'll be it throughout the day to keep you guys going. Dinner at 7. The building will close. The museum will shut down at 6, which means that it'll get very quiet in the building. So at that point, we're going to move everybody upstairs to go and hack in the canteen, which means that you get to see the beautiful backdrop of Chicago through our lovely windows. At 11 o'clock, the building will close properly. That means that after 11 o'clock, that's 11 p.m., not a.m., sorry, the building will close and you won't be able to get back in. So if you leave the building, that's you gone for the night. We'll reopen again at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Hacking will stop at about 1 p.m. and then judging will happen from 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. and we'll give a award ceremony there for the best hacks that have come out of the past few days. We have a number of contact experts. Sorry, yeah, and for lunch, unfortunately we weren't able to provide lunch, but if you want to grab lunch, there's a canteen upstairs. There's also an amazing taco stand. I mean, like the best tacos you've ever had down by the beach. I can highly recommend going to get tacos. That's where I'll be for lunch. So if you want to come down for that, let me know.
Here, so any of your space data needs, you can come to me. I run the Space Visualization Lab, which is upstairs. We have a number of interesting pieces of equipment you can hack on. We've got 3D displays. We have this cool multi-touch table called the Pixel Sense, which is some interesting technology. We print these little markers and track them. We have a whole bunch of little robotic balls called Spheros, which you want to do something crazy with swarm robotics. We can help you with that. I also I produce the sky shows here, and if you want to hack our planetarium, you need to talk to me. We did some cool things last time with that. All right.
I do. I'm Ken Volchek, and I'm Far Horizons manager. Far Horizons, we build and design experiments to send up to the stratosphere. So what that means is if you need to build anything today, actually have to 3D print something, machine something, you need materials, you need something designed and stuck together in one way or another to make your thing happen, you can come to me. We have a lab downstairs, and we have some access to a machine shop as well. So if any of that sparks your interest, you can talk to me about it.
I am Ken Nebergall. I actually found out about this about 3 days ago, but I was commander of Mars Desert Research Station last year, and so I've actually worked with a Martian greenhouse. So if anybody wants to do the Martian greenhouse thing, I'll probably be participating, or if I'm not participating, I'll be a subject matter expert. I also did a paper that was presented in an International Space Conference in Beijing on how to do gear loading on a spacesuit. So if anybody wants the fashion thing from the NASA challenge, I'll probably be around for that. And I've been doing this stuff for 10 years. I've won 2 awards for space mission design. So if you have any questions I might be able to answer, or I might be able to tell you where to find an answer. Thank you.
Hey, my name's Melinda. I got my PhD in astronomy last year, and then I decided that I actually wanted to be a software engineer, so I moved to Chicago. If you have any astro-related questions, I can possibly answer them. So, catch you around.
Great. So these are the people to find if you want to do something or know something, or which is outside of your sphere of knowledge. These are also the equipment people. So for equipment, either find myself, Ken, or Mark. That includes things like we have a number of quadcopters here. We've got a 3D printer. We've got the Spheros. We've got a number of touch tables. The dome itself is hackable. Anything you can imagine that a planetarium might have that you might want to hack on, come and talk to us and we'll get you set up with it and hooked up with it. And that's pretty much all I had to say, but now I want to throw it over to you guys. Hack days are all about ideas and exploring ideas and building teams around those ideas. So really what I want to do now is kind of open up the mic and the floor to anybody who has an idea for a hack, who wants to recruit some people to work on it. Or even if you just got an idea that you want to work on yourself, it'd be great to come up and just tell the room what it is you want to work on or what it is you want to get some help with. Don't be shy, just come over here. If nobody has ideas, this is going to be a very short day.
Why I want to probably talk to you later is this is what I want to do for the next 30 hours. I want to take one of these. This is actually a 3D printed model of a CubeSat. CubeSats are, this is a full-scale model of a 1U CubeSat, so it's an entire fully functioning satellite. But I don't want to just 3D print one of those. What I want to do is take one of those. Use one of these. This is a parawing kite that was actually designed by Aerospace Corporation. We're working with them to, well, let's see. If we attach this to that and send it to Mars, we can land on Mars. It's not an easy task, but that's why I need you guys. I want to see if we could test and design a small landing craft for the Martian surface. That involves a lot of things between here and there. So that's what I'll be working on. Yes, this is a 3D printed model. It's got power. There's a imaging experiment on here. There's communications. There's a CPU. This is a self-contained orbiting satellite. If we actually did it in electronics, right now it's 3D printed, but it gives you a sense of the scale and the idea behind the design. There's a lot of institutions, a lot of colleges and universities, even high schools now are starting to build and orbit these. So we're actually on the first level of our pre-phase A design for our first satellite as well. So this is to scale. Yep. This is a fully functioning satellite. Yep. The problem with Arduino or Raspberry Pi is that they'd have to be space tested and space approved for functioning in extreme environment. There are off-the-shelf manufacturers of like CPUs that work on these, but the whole point is that CubeSats are a small form factor that can actually be adapted, hacked, and created. There's a lot of questions left to be left to be tested. So we don't know what we can do with these yet. So, if anybody knows how to use Arduinos, if anybody knows how to use sensors with Arduinos, anybody knows how to do any programming, for example, we have a whole slew of sensors and Arduinos. What we're trying to do is see if we can actually attach one of these to one of these and do some steering. Actually, make a steerable chute. So you can imagine some mechanical skills too, mechanical engineering skills, and I can really help with that too. I'm really looking for maybe the programmers and the hardware people. Are you going to fly outside? Yep. Yep. We have needs. Let's just say that. Especially when it's like 4 a.m. and no one's looking. We can do a lot of things. Yeah.
Just to be aware, we are live streaming this, so don't say anything, too illegal yet.
I didn't say that.
Well, again, if somebody is interested in the NASA Greenhouse Challenge, I'd be happy to start a project here. Like I said, I've worked on several before. I've got some ideas. If somebody wants to do the fashion thing, I hate that word, but if you want to do gear loading on a spacesuit, one of the problems with the spacesuits at Mars Desert Research Station in Utah and in the Arctic is that you have this backpack that blows air on your face to keep you from overheating in this simulated spacesuit. And consequently, you can't carry a backpack with all your field gear and so forth. So I did a weight study on exactly where you can carry gear on your body and how it best works and so forth, and all the ergonomics of that. So that's a really good starting point for doing something that might actually look good, because all the physics is already done. So either of those projects, great. If you've got something, like I said, brand spanking new, I'm actually working on a book on space settlement now and all these wonderful little ideas. So if you've got your own ideas, please come to me and we can maybe get something going. I am, just for reference, I am not a programmer, although I have worked in IT for 25 years. And I am not really don't ask me your calculus equations, but other than that, as far as being a shade tree mechanic of Mars, that would be me.
Good morning, and thank you, Adler. My name is Eve, and I'm from a team called Planet Lab. We've been working on a science curriculum network that sources material from museums, community garden groups, workforce development programs, and makes those projects and those lessons better available to teachers. The reason for this project is that right now you may know that 60% of teachers in the US, K through 8, feel unprepared to teach science in school. And what this means is it's a major problem for equity in education. We're seeing that kids are graduating high school where only 1 out of 5 seniors is proficient in science at their grade level. So we're interested in competing in the Earthwatch category, and we think that Planet Lab can really make a big difference in science education and create a more science-aware and science-educated public. So if you have questions about it, come and talk with me. We could really use some software developers. Angular, JavaScript is a need that we have. If you're interested in back-end, we could use your help and advice. So yeah, if you have any questions. Thanks.
Great. And if anybody else comes up with any ideas, please share them with the people around you. If you've heard something you want to work on just now, find people. I've got a couple of things that I want to work on. One of which is, and I'm the most frivolous person in this room, so mine are daft ideas. One of mine is to be able to fly a quadcopter using a wee balance board, because why not? And then if we get that working, attach 2 GoPro cameras to it, take the feed from the 2 GoPro cameras and feed them into an Oculus Rift, so you can have a virtual reality flying experience using a wee balance board and a quadcopter, because why wouldn't you want to do that, frankly? The other thing I want to do is try and build a system that will allow you to stand in one place, will measure your height, measure your weight, and use that to create a whole bunch of statistics about you in the universe. So for example, the fact that my head's further away from the ground than my feet means that my head's experiencing time differently from my feet are. And I want to calculate how different that is and tell people about it. I want to tell people about how many atoms in their body were present at the Big Bang and have been for most of the history of the universe. And so if anybody fancies helping with that, I'm probably going to need designers to help me make it look pretty, hardware people to help me interface the different pieces of hardware, and programmers to help me do stuff. Also, copy editors, if you want to help me write explanations for this and explaining what those different things are to people, that'd be really cool too. So if you want to do either of those, come and find me, Deathcopter or Stats about the Universe. So before we head out and start hacking and start getting involved and getting our hands dirty, I would like to give Arvin Smith, who's here from GitHub, the chance to talk a little bit about GitHub. GitHub is our biggest sponsor for the day. They're providing money here for food and to help keep the building open overnight. Our other sponsors are also Dev Bootcamp, who are a company downtown who take people who are interested in becoming developers, put them through an 8-week intensive course, and spit them out at the other end with amazing skills. There's a few people here from Dev Bootcamp today, so if you want to know more about that, ask them about it. Also, we have, I'm missing people off my head. Oh, we'll have your ideas in a second. Can somebody maybe the other 2 sponsors who I'm forgetting? Monkey Bars, yeah, as well, who's a gem, and also Inventables. Inventables is donated a whole bunch of stuff. I apologize for forgetting those our sponsors. We love you all, and thank you very much for your contributions. So Julieta, very quickly with your idea, and then we'll have Arvin talk a little bit about GitHub, and then we'll get going.
So as I was shooting you an email last night, so I would like to work on an application that tracks your diet as what parts of the universe you are consuming and how fresh they are. So say, fats, sugars, water, when were those elements created? so you have a sense of what parts of our universe history you crave the most and stuff like that. I'm a designer and programmer here, but I haven't done any like mobile app, which is probably the shape that this should take. So I work at the Space Visualization Laboratory, so I'm also a resource if you need anything from there. Thanks.
So Arvin Smith is GitHub's science guy. It's a relatively new position, but he's there to help try and promote science and software.
Yeah, thanks. Hey guys, I'm going to take literally 2 minutes of your time. Maybe 3. All right, so all right, so I work at GitHub. We build a platform that helps you host code and allows you to work together on software. So it's literally impossible to drive this. Where's the mirror? Who can drive? Let's do this collaboratively. This is all about collaboration today. Up. What? Up. Yeah. Left. Click. There. Hooray! You guys are awesome. That's what science is all about. All right. So we build a platform that helps you share code together. This is what we like to call social coding. Today, you may end up building stuff where you're writing scripts, you're trying to make a website, you're trying to build an app. You can do that on GitHub. You can have a better time collaborating than just emailing code around. Please don't do that. The other thing I want to tell you about is maybe you want to build a website today. There's a really easy way to do that, which is on GitHub Pages, and it's actually just a branch. If you have a GitHub repo called GH Pages, I can show you how to deploy that. If you've ever, for example, grabbed Bootstrap, like the Twitter library, this is a GitHub page, so these are hosted on GitHub Pages, so people host a whole bunch of stuff there. There's one really important thing I try and explain to people about hack days. They are crazy intense. Everyone's writing loads of code. Everyone's throwing code all into the same branch. That's quite often a recipe for just spending, especially at like 3 a.m. when you're trying to work out why something doesn't work anymore, when it was working about 4 hours ago. There's a pretty good chance that you're going to have just overwritten your code, or like there's going to be a typo and you've all just pulled the changes. So I want to encourage you today, if you've never used it, to use a single GitHub flow, which is just a really simple way to not tread on each other's toes. And so the idea is, and I apologize if nobody has a clue what I'm talking about, and if you've never heard of Git, because I didn't check that, but there we go, I'm in a rush. So if you're working on a branch together in Git, so you're working kind of in the same directory, what you can do really easily with Git is you can basically just create a new kind of namespace. You can branch off like the timeline, do your work, push that branch up to GitHub and make a pull request just to the project. And so the person you're making a pull request to might be sitting right next to you. That doesn't matter. The point is you can then all review the changes, decide if it's good, have a chat about it, and then merge it in. And so the thing is, like, when you do that merge, everyone gets the same nice clean merge because it's all been done through a pull request. So I would encourage you, especially when you're throwing code in all together, kind of pretty high velocity, and you're tired, and you don't have much time to review things, then pull requests and like a branching workflow is a really good idea. So if you want to learn about that, I am here to help. I also bought free stuff, and free stuff comes in the form of virtual free, as in if you want to use GitHub privately today, you may not have very good reasons to use it privately. It's free if you publish stuff open, but if you want to work privately before you publish it, then there's a coupon code SHDSHY14IND. Yes, that's a catchy code. And a group one if you want to work as a team, which allows you to have an organization on GitHub. So the individual gives you a free micro account, the group one gives you a free bronze plan, but that has to be an organization. So if you want to try that out, then let me know. I think there's also some t-shirts somewhere in my bag. I think I brought them with me. So I think one of the prizes, one of the teams tomorrow, I think you're all going to get a GitHub t-shirt. And I, of course, bought stickers. There we go. All right, thanks, guys. And to those who are about to hack, I salute you. Cheers.
just one last thing before we get going. The main way we're going to communicate today, if you're not all in the same place, which I think we probably will be, is through Twitter. So if my computer works up. Okay, well, the Twitter handle for today is Adler Hacks. So Adler is in the planetarium, and Hacks is in hacks. If you want to follow along with that, we'll give information about when dinner's going to be there, who's working on what, tweet updates throughout the day, and that's pretty much it. So if everybody would like to follow our lovely volunteers who are distributed around the room, we'll take you next door to the executive lobby. If you don't have something immediately that you want to hack on, please stick around, don't leave. We're going to bring down a whole bunch of different equipment so you can start playing with different things and get some ideas maybe. Talk to people around you, maybe something will spark and you can get going with it. And remember, you're surrounded by people who have very different skill sets from you, so if you can't do something and you want to do it, start talking to people and find somebody who can help make it happen. So I hope you have a great day, I hope you have a great 36 hours, and let's make some cool stuff.